I'm Melissa Hebert, and on tonight's episode of Where Are They Now, we have Neile Joler Nelson, who graduated in 1995 and is a high school math teacher and coach. So, as an alum of St. Joe's, can you tell me about some of your biggest accomplishments while playing for the women's basketball team?
Our biggest accomplishment was that our team qualified for the NA. We used to play in a different conference than the current Monks, and we qualified for the NAIA national tournament 3 out of 4 years, and we won the MAC championship. It used to be called the Main Athletic Conference way back then, for 3 years as well. So I would say that that's a really big accomplishment. That one of our teams got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I was a previous inductee in the Hall of Fame as well. So I also played soccer at St. Joe's.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so we had a lot of success with our soccer team as well.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like transitioning from playing basketball to coaching basketball?
Yeah, that's also been a sort of an evolution. I think you graduate as a player, and I felt like as a young coach, I tried to emulate what Coach McDevitt was to me and run the type of a program that he ran, the offenses that he ran, and I don't think I necessarily found my own identity and who I wanted to be as a coach for probably until after I had my own kids. I think as a young coach, you tend to make it a little bit more about yourself than it probably should be. So, I think we grow and we figure that out. But I think the reasons that I got into it were good. But you're a little bit self-centered in the no
Yeah.
offense to anybody in their early 20s, but you're all about yourself a little too much in your 20s, I think.
Yeah. Is it nice teaching so close to where you went to college? I mean, St.
Amazing.
Joe's and Gorham are right near each
It's
other.
awesome. It's awesome. I mean, in between, in a normal winter where we're not fighting a worldwide pandemic, we spend a lot of time. Every time my team has an early practice and we're not playing a game, I go up to St. Joe's to watch their games, men's or women's. So we still support those programs. I still very much value Coach McDevitt and Coach Santacola and the whole athletic department there, and athletic director Sanborn. And there's just a lot of people there that are still very special to me.
So going back to the pandemic, what has your experience been like being a coach throughout all of this?
I mean, when it first started in March, we had just wrapped up our high school season. We were starting to make plans for our summer program, some trips we wanted to take, some leagues we wanted to play in, how that was going to look. As a mom, my daughter was starting her AAU program, her AAU season, and then it shut down. So you kind of go from, well, geez, I hope we don't lose our kids, and to be honest, that has helped us prioritize really what's important for these kids. And what the purpose of high school athletics really is. I mean, they miss their friends. They want to be around their friends. If it involves a basketball in a gym, great. So I think it was really hard. I think the summer was really hard, not being able to connect with them in person. We did some virtual things. It's just not the same. So now that we're finally back in a gym, I think we all feel very, very grateful to be together.
So my brother actually plays for an AAU team too. So I think we can both say that there have been some differences regarding school
Totally.
sports and AAU
Yeah,
programs. What do you
totally.
think about that, about school sports being canceled, but these AAU teams continuing?
Wow, that's a very high-powered question, especially considering that on one hand, I'm a high school coach who couldn't have anything to do with my players, yet I allowed my daughter to take part in the AAU program that she was involved in, and to be honest, we had a lot of very intense family discussions. For a while, we were a house divided on that issue, and we really didn't know what the right thing was. Probably still don't know what the right thing
Right.
is. But I think we learned as we went, and we had some pretty strict rules at our house that, if we were going to go, you were going to wear a mask and you were going to make sure that you were involved in a program that required that. And to be honest, I think things went pretty well, all things considered.
What advice would you give to student athletes at this time?
I think at this time, I think a student athlete who is serious about their sport needs to be committed with or without practices each day. I think I've watched it from a lens of a coach, I've watched it from a lens of a parent, and I've seen some kids kind of react to the pandemic and almost go into a hole per se and really kind of say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And I would argue that there are always ways to do things. They might look different, but I think kids should get creative. I want to see kids outside. I think being active is really important. So if your season gets canceled, if your season gets postponed, I think that there are alternatives to that. Um, Gorham recently started an outdoors club, and it's kind of getting some serious traction where, I think we're looking for some grants to get involved. We're looking at building a skateboard park. I mean, I think we really want to promote kids getting outside and being active.
Yeah, I noticed that about Gorham. It's everyone's come together, the whole community.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty special place.
That was great.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Neile.
You're welcome.